Welcome back to another episode. I'm Kyle. In this episode, I'm going over how I record my podcast setup. Thanks for tuning into this episode. As many of you who have tuned into this channel know, I do a couple podcasts and a couple interview series. Each of them a little bit different, but using about the same amount of gear that I normally do for each. And that is for both Miyazaki and Me, which is my podcast about the Studio Ghibli movies and the movies of Hayao Miyazaki that I do with my roommate Shane, as well as Super J Recap, which is me recapping with a guest each week. We recap the 1995 Super J Cup from Wrestling Association R. And both of these tournaments, both of these podcasts, I do different sort of things with. The Miyazaki and Me is a strictly an audio podcast. For the YouTube channel, I do some fun stuff with the graphics that actually Dave Wheeler from Mindwave Comics was gracious enough I commissioned to do the logo for and doing the sketch drawing. And I just move the heads around like the old DVD player or logo. And so, yeah, I do the like little DVD bounce around for that. And that one as well is available on regular podcast networks as well. So I actually switched my setup around from what I had normally been shooting for Super J Recap. And now I'm using my Canon 80D as my webcam, which is why it looks so much nicer than the other, or just my regular webcam from my iMac, which is a really good camera, but it's not a Canon 80D, you know. So we've got that as the difference. And then what I do is there's a program called, iShow Capture. It ends up doing it captures the audio from each of what is actually coming into your computer. So whatever windows you have open, whatever like Discord or, even Premiere, or it will sometimes work with, it'll capture that audio. So I can actually set this up and use it as like a soundboard for episodes if I wanted to, but I've mostly been using it to talk with my guests for each episode. So the iShow audio capture works, and then you make it into this second multi-output device, and that will make sure that things go to your headphones as well as into the player itself. And for that, for everything, I use OBS. And why I started to do that was I wanted more control over the audio itself. And that ended up actually being a kind of cool thing because so the Blue Snowball microphone that I'm recording with and I record all my audio with, and then that will be one of the channels, because OBS you can set it up so that you actually have 3 channels getting recorded. The first channel, like if I just want to do a quick export and don't not want to worry about anything, or input 1 and input 2 combined on the first channel, which would be my audio from the Blue and then the audio from the iShow capture device. Those two will be on the channel together. And then separately, channels 3 and 4 is the snowball on channel 2, and then the capture device on channel 3. And why I ended up doing that is I do, thanks to, quarantine and lockdown and everything, I have not really been in the same place as my guests. And the internet is a great thing, but the internet can sometimes be a little bit finicky, and you don't have the exact right settings, and you'll maybe get a little bit of a lag. And as a filmmaker, a syncing problem with some voice is the worst thing that I possibly can deal with, and it just is one of my biggest pet peeves. So the fact that each of my guests now I have do a quick clap at the beginning and the end of each of our interviews, so that in Adobe Premiere, which is what I'm using for my editing software. With the Adobe Premiere, I actually deleted the first channel because I didn't want anything. And see, here you can even see the difference between mine and Mr. Scott Story's audio, because Story was on a bit of a delay, and it was less than a second, but it was just enough that his syncing was slightly off, so I had to maneuver it around a little bit and get that all to work. So, and then once I get it in here, I can also, if one of the audios is a little bit different sounding, I try and equalize the levels as much as possible. Move up and down the decibels. Because sometimes I'm a little louder than my guest. And I want to keep it around a 6th and then a -6 for the most part. Between -12 and -6 is what I normally do. And yeah, so that's what I do for that. And then for the regular podcast, I've actually just been using Discord. Thanks everybody for watching. Follow me at Knocked Out Films on Instagram and Twitter, and make sure to like and subscribe on this channel.